And we are starting with our nice song, The Soul Groove from Audionautics. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this public live stream. It certainly has been a while. It has been a while since I've done a live stream last. As everybody is entering into the chat, let me welcome everybody as the tune is finishing up and we are going to go live and we are going to talk about Bitcoin. About Bitcoin, what is Bitcoin going to do? Is Bitcoin going to go further up or are we going to see a retracement? And what do I simply expect as we are starting the last month of the year in about a few days? So exciting times ahead, holiday season ahead, and it simply has just been such a long time since I've done a live stream. So here I am. I hope that you are all doing really well. Say hello, let me say hello in the chat to everybody. I see people from all over the world joining into the chat. Hey, row the in cheese. Welcome, my friend, from Houthavens. I think that is Dutch. From Turkey, from Belgium, from Switzerland. Hello, guys. Welcome to this stream on this beautiful Sunday night. I hope that you had all a splendid weekend. And for my American traders out there, I hope that you have had a really nice Thanksgiving and still enjoying the food that you have eaten, most likely over the last few days. So, Well, I don't really know where to start, to be honest. Today we're gonna take a look at Bitcoin. I want to go over the high time frame, situation, and I've also found something in the chart that I want to show you guys, and I think it's quite interesting and quite nice. I will get into that as we are progressing with our analysis. We're gonna keep it easy, we're gonna keep it slow, we're gonna keep it high time frame as well. I'm gonna go over my Bitcoin price prediction and price analysis on what I am expecting to happen. From here on out, really on the higher time frame. So not necessarily focused on day trading. That is what we do in the tribe every single day. And tomorrow morning is where I'm going to give an update within that tribe on how I'm expecting to trade tomorrow and the day thereafter and on a day-to-day basis. But now I want to focus more on the swing trading perspective and what am I expecting from there on out. So guys, I would really appreciate it, by the way, if you can hit that like and subscribe button to help get the message out there. You would do me a massive favor and it requires very little effort from your end and you would make me really happy for that. Right, so as everybody is starting to join into the stream, let's simply begin, but not before I've had my water. 1 second, because I notice when I start talking, I forget to stay hydrated, and that's kind of a not so good for your voice. So let's have some fun, guys, right? So the program for today is, first of all, welcome everybody. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That is chapter number 1 of this stream. Really, really important. Smash the likes as hard as you can. An uneven amount of time, because otherwise you will be liking and unliking, and make sure that the like is eventually hit, no matter your enthusiasm. Make sure it is an uneven amount. Then we're gonna move over, which is right now, move over to the Bitcoin chart. And then in the end, there's also plenty of space to discuss, for discussion, questions, conversations. So let's begin, guys. Let's begin. Let's take a look at the chart. Bitcoin is obviously at a very, very interesting place. And let me just start with the beginning. What I always like to do, if you are new to this channel, very much welcome. Really happy to have you here. What I usually like to do is I like to zoom out on the larger time frame. and build that context. I'm your host, Mike Williams. I am a trader. I'm a swing trader, day trader. I'm trading crypto, stocks, and futures. And I do that each and every day. I also made a passion out of this to teach other people on how to do that, how to read the charts, where I focus on fact-based trading. No weird indicators, no subjectivity. We look at facts. We don't look at news. We trade the charts as it is. As my motto is usually goes along the lines of give me a chart and I will tell you the news. That was a short introduction. For those that are new, very much welcome. Now let's just dive straight into it. Let's zoom out, let's build that context, because otherwise we cannot project the future, as that is the core of technical analysis. You need to look at past price data in order to make a projection for the future. And that can be done if you have a specific methodology, if you don't flip around your tools and strategies every time that you, let's say, make a losing trade. We focus, at least I focus here, Thrive Labs, this whole channel and the community focuses here on consistency, not on the one big move that Bitcoin might provide. This is my profession. I'm looking to do this each and every single day. That means that at some days I make winning trades, but I also make losing trades. It is just part of the game. The key is that you keep your losses always smaller than your wins, and then eventually, even if you make losing trades, you are coming out in profits. We're keeping it simple. We're taking it easy here tonight, and let's just dive straight into it. All right, so I want to begin basically covering this entire section. It's been a while. Started this channel in January. It's been a while since I've done this kind of analysis already. So let's just freshen up our mind. The way that I would like to divide the charts is simply cutting it up into two sections, right? Into two sections. So first of all, we had an entire bull market starting from 2020, bringing us to new all-time highs at $69,000 on Bitcoin. That marked the peak of the bull market at the time in November 2021. And since then, we have pretty much seen a relentless downtrend since then, until right after the FTX crash, after the SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, whatever his name is, basically got caught trading with customer funds, and the whole exchange faulted. But at the same time, it also marked the bottom of the entire year. And since then, we have seen a significant increase in price of that 15,500 bottom till where we are now. We have seen a 150% increase in one single year. And that brings us to where we are today. So what do I want to do with this? I want to cut up the chart into two really big sections. Technically, you could do it in 4 sections, right? Rise in price, really big range, drop in price, and then the latest trend, right? I want to do it slightly different because I want to say, you know what? We have been in a sideways channel, in a sideways price action for quite a long time. That actually started here, right? And got confirmed over here, right? And then we have seen that decrease in price, big consolidation for multi-month consolidation before we actually eventually started dropping downwards, and then coming up, putting in another really long sub-range, and now coming back into it. And that is why it is important to look at it this way, because that provides the context of where we are in a potential new cycle or a continuation of a bearish cycle, where you could see this as the first leg of the bear market, simply a relief rally before seeing further downside. And that would mean that the bottom is not in yet. So it would be really wild to start saying things like, oh yeah, it looks like this is the top. So, I think this is a relief rally and I think we're going to go to lower prices. That is not what we do here. What we do here is we build the chart in such a way that we can gauge the levels, whether and read if it is a sign of strength in the chart or a continued sign of weakness in the chart. Now, so we start off by framing it in this way, right? Now, what I want to do is I want to start refining this. So if I can draw a box like this in this way, then we could also do the same thing in this way, where for the majority of the year, after we've broken down, right? After we've broken down of that $30,000 key level. Why is it a key level? Well, because first of all, in the initial bull market, we backtested this as a key level as support. Then we made new all-time highs. We came back not once, not twice, but 3 times testing that level before going on, making another all-time high. After that all-time high has been put in, we've seen another drop in price where once again, this entire $30,000 region once again came into play again and you know, eventually broke through. Then we've spent some time below it, and then we came back up to it. Once again, surprise, surprise, into that $30,000 region. Again, not once resistance, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, before seeing a reaction again, and then eventually breaking through into this, right? So that $30,000, just by not even actually doing real technical analysis just yet, we can already see that this is a really important level. Really important level. And that is really the first answer on the question, is Bitcoin right now really bearish, yes or no? Well, simply put, as long as we stay above $30,000, everything is still okay, right? It doesn't mean that we cannot see a drop from here to $30,000, but even if we do get a drop to $30,000, which by the way is quite a significant drop, it is a 20% drop from here on out, it doesn't necessarily have to mean the end of the world, right? So that is the first question answered. What is the most important level to the downside? Simply put, $30,000 to $32,000 region, period. If we get below that, then we are starting to reclaim, or we're starting to trade back into this white box again. And that would not really be very good for this rally to continue, right? Because it would actually say, hey, we've reclaimed a really significant box that we could look to trade up again. But we failed to stay there, and now we're going back into this box instead, which makes it much more likely that we're going to see a drop in price, well, to, you know, anywhere within this box, really. That has to be refined, right? But this is our starting point. This is our starting point. So now we can start adding levels on top of that, right? So first of all, what I would like to do is make it into an actual channel that is real technical analysis. And there we go, building that channel from this initial all-time high. My apologies, I mentioned earlier that it was this high, but it was actually this high. Connecting these and these highs. Keep in mind, I'm on the 3 days chart for those who are already a little bit more advanced. This is taken from a daily time frame. I'm using the 3 days chart just to make it a little bit more readable. Otherwise, the candles get really squished, really small, and it's simply not so nice to look at. Right? So this channel really is very important to me and has been, well, since I started this YouTube channel, really. That is where we already started looking at it, or even actually way before that anyway. Before, I mean, I've been trading for a while, right? So I've had this channel on for quite, literally since July 2021. That's where I constructed this channel. So definitely high time frame analysis this. So coming back into this channel means that, you know, we have a potential to actually start crawling up to that top side of the channel. But there's one really important level that we absolutely need to reclaim before I would say, okay, I'm really bullish on this chart. As a matter of fact, I'm not necessarily bullish, right? So my overall macro bias is actually not bullish. However, I am in long trades since $22,000. since $22,000, since here. This is where I actually entered into long trades, and currently I'm in multiple long trades on the way up. But this is the long trade that I've been in since March this year. So even though overall on the bigger time frame, I'm not necessarily convinced yet that we are full on in a bull market, I'm not trading against my own bias, because the chart tells me that it looks strong and that there's still more room for upside, right? Now, if we refine that even further, right, and again, keep in mind this bottom line of the channel again sits around that $30,000. So this is key support on the bigger picture. Lose this level, that is not a good sign for Bitcoin. Until then, even if we would drop and let's say have a backtest, again, it's going to be a region between $32,000 and $30,000. That should be support. And if it's not, it's a sign of weakness. Until then, I foresee higher prices. My personal favorite level on this entire chart is, you might have already guessed it and seen it, is this midline of the channel. Not only because it's the midline of the channel, but it also marks the top of the previous rally after the bear market actually has started, right? Not only that, so we have previous price action there that we can measure strength or weakness there locally from. That means that if price arrives there, then I'm going to switch to my day trader mindset, look at the price action, look at the order flow, right? Look at the bid-ask profiles, look at the TPO charts, and look at how that price action is developing locally, so that I can make an informed decision on the higher time frame, right? But for now, this is definitely a level of interest to me, not only because it's the midline of the channel or the high of the previous first relief rally that we had prior to this, but there's a bunch more things going on. And this is where I'm going to start to have to show you some levels that I did prepare, but I don't know where I put them. So give me a second. Give me a second to find them back. There we go. Yeah, so that's a whole bunch of lines. So there we go. So let me put that on. So here we have that, not this channel, but we are having, yes, the volume levels. So when I look at all the other exchanges, we have really important volume levels right at $40,000, which is a level just before the higher level. But I wanted to point this out because this is an important level, as this is a point of control, which means it's the most transacted volume across spot exchanges. So I'm not here talking about derivatives exchanges such as BitGet, which is my main exchange, or Bybit or other exchanges. This is from spot exchanges, right? That sits at $40,000. So that is an in-between level that I deem of importance, more on the midterm time frame, not necessarily on the high time frame, but it is definitely something to be aware of. If we reclaim $40,000, and you might start to see where I'm going to go with this, right? So I'm starting off with the higher time frame levels and the more important levels, which for me is that $48,000 to $50,000 region. But how do I gauge what is the probability and what is the chance that we're going to get there? In order to do that, we need to refine it further by creating sub-levels, right? And this is one of them. So in order for me to be very convinced that we're going to get to that $50,000, I first want to see a reclaim of this level, because this is an important level. For this reason, it is the spot exchange POC. Then we can also refine it even further. More levels going on, which is where we have the Bybit point of control also now sitting at that $50,000 region. Why am I choosing the Bybit exchange, even though it is not my main exchange anymore? Well, you have to realize that the landscape of exchanges are continuously changing. In the bull market, and I'm talking about literally since the COVID-19 crisis, or in 2020, we have seen a big shift in the exchange landscape, where over here, in this period of time, BitMEX was the largest exchange. This is where I started trading crypto on. Then that exchange faltered and Bybit took over and was by far the largest derivatives exchange with the most volume transacted during this bull market. Therefore, a point of control taken from Bybit from this bull market is of significant importance because that was the largest exchange at the time. Now, arguably, the landscape is changing again. There's a lot, an entire bear market has come to pass now, and the landscape is definitely changing again, right? So now currently I trade on BitGet, which has grown since then and seen a lot more influx in volume. We can see this in multiple ways, simply looking at the volume, but we can also see that their coin BGB is doing really well. So that means that exchange is really building and working very hard to be up to par with the competition, and I think that is good because that drives innovation in the space, and especially now with all these things with exchanges going on, I think it's good that there's more options anyway. So now, since this section, I am using the BitGet exchange as my main resource. And it actually technically is better respected than Bybit, especially when it comes to VWAPs and volume levels. If you're part of the tribe and you're watching right now, you know what I'm on about. Showing countless of examples of how well respected that exchange currently is, and that is why it is currently my favorite exchange. Because in my experience, Bybit just isn't anymore. The VWAP, for example, usually is touched multiple times on Bybit. Usually it's on a slightly different place on BitGet, gets tapped, and then get a bigger reaction. So, the data speaks for itself. The facts are facts. Anyway, where was I going with this? Showing you the multiple confluences, right? So returning back to this $50,000 levels, we have the market structure over here, we have a midline of the channel over here, and we have, what was it? Right, an old point of control that was dominant in the previous bull market over here. So that marks out a really significant level, really, really important level. If we reclaim that level, which by the way is quite far from here, so I'm not really thinking about so much higher prices, right? And that is the way that I like to think, and that is why I'm explaining it in this detail to you. First of all, I'm going to look at $40,000. Reclaim that, then the next level is $50,000, which is at the same time also the biggest level for me on the chart. Reclaim that level with confidence, right? I'm not talking about this. Reclaim it with confidence, bam, bam, like this. Then I might have to admit that price is indeed bullish and all-time highs are more likely. Until then, out of the discussion, because we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Okay, so now that we've built that context, I've given you some higher time frame levels. Now I want to zoom in into the more, let's say, high to mid-term time frame region now, like as what we are doing here right now. Clearly, we have ranged, right, since March this year. We've ranged very much sideways, and then we've broken out very convincingly. Boom, like without any second guess, not even with a backtest whatsoever. We haven't even backtested it at all, right? And since then, we've started sloping upwards. This is bullish, but if you have been watching some of my videos earlier on in the last few weeks, it is one of the most unhealthy ways of consolidation. What do I mean with this? Ladies and gentlemen, before I move on, I want to take you down a trip down back to memory lane. This is really wrong English, I know, but you get the point. I want to take you back in time. But before we do, please hit the like and subscribe button, because I think, you would do me just simply a massive favor, right? Massive favor. I'm seeing some comments here, by the way, in the chat. Welcome everybody who is joining now. you have to know that English is not my native language. So I apologize if I pronounce things wrong. I'm trying my best. All right, so let's take a trip down memory lane. That's the one. Okay, so I told you already about BitMEX. I've been trading crypto since, from the top of my head, 2017, I think. Can't remember exactly. Anyway, that exchange was BitGet. But BitMEX. BitMEX, oh my. It is Sunday evening. It is quite late for me already, so that is why I'm not the most focused, right? Obviously, tomorrow I will be fully back into trading. But anyway, let's take a trip down memory lane from the time when I was trading on BitMEX. This definitely is a little bit nostalgic. This used to be my main exchange a long time ago, but I still like to look at this chart from time to time because it has way more data than Bybit, any other, modern exchange really. And what do I want to do here? So on the last cycle, so the last all-time high before that $69,000, we had an all-time high $20,000. So if you're a little bit more of an OG, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Then we have seen a really big blow off top from $20,000, bam, went all the way to $3,000. Can you imagine this? Bitcoin at $3,000. I remember at this point in time, I was like, oh wow, if Bitcoin could ever go to $20,000, again, that would be crazy, right? That would be so crazy. Look at it now. It has dipped below $20,000. In the beginning of the year. Quite nuts when you think about it, really. But anyway, this was when Bitcoin was trading at $3,000, right? After a big bear market, boom, boom, boom. And then we had like this echo bubble. But there's one particular piece of price action that serves the purpose of what I want to say here. Breaking out of a longer standing range. And, I know this was a completely different context. The market was completely different, but it does serve exactly the purpose of my what I want to say here. So let me cut off something from the chart. Let me just cut something off. Let me go on a slightly lower time frame. Let me just play that. All right. So what do we see over here? Very similar situation, right? Boom, breakout, and then we start to crawl upwards. You could even say, oh, you know what? We are actually here trading in a sideways or an upward sloping channel, more or less, right? More or less. This is so long ago. I was looking at this channel. It's pretty crazy that I even remember that. I was trading a channel over here, an upward sloping channel. Can't remember exactly where I connected it to. Also doesn't matter. But basically what I want to say is, okay, this is a bullish consolidation pattern. But usually it does like to correct itself before it actually continues upwards. And I think we might just have the same situation, right? Look at that. Boom. Boom, right? So here we go, upward sloping, boom, downstairs to the downside, making everybody pretty bearish. In the end, putting in a higher low and then continuing upwards, right? Now, what if we are in exactly the same kind of situation right now? What if we are in the same kind of situation right here, right now, right? So let's try and project that on the current price action and see what we can do with that. Wow, need to go way back. There we go. Because this is so long back, it's gonna be pretty difficult to do it extremely precise, but you get the point. Let me put on a fractal, like something along the lines of this, right? Let's say something along the lines of this. All right, so I copied that. Now, let's see if we have any similarities to the current price action, right? Okay, so connecting this to the low, boom. Connecting this maybe to the high. And would you look at that? That does, obviously not exactly the same, right? Obviously not exactly the same, but look at that. Doesn't that look quite interesting? Could see, maybe let's see if we can squeeze it a little bit smaller. Maybe I like this a little bit better, actually, as a matter of fact. Maybe something along the lines of this, right? Maybe something along the lines of this. Give me a moment. Let me try and see how this can fit. Yeah, I actually like this better from this latest move to the upside to here, just like this. So point being, of course, it's not going to be exactly, right? But it does line up quite nicely, right? So what do I mean with this? From the latest move that gave us the breakout to the upside, boom, right? Gave us a nice breakout, gave us a little bit of a retracement, didn't give us exactly this wick, etc. But the point being is uptrust, retracement, consolidation upwards, boom, to the downside, consolidation upwards, right? Boom, to the downside. And this might just be here. I don't know yet, but that is something that I wanted to make you guys aware of, right? So if you project that onwards, then this is what happened in the past. Now, history doesn't repeat itself, keep that in mind, but it certainly rhymes, right? So as you can see over here, very similar price action. It's not exactly the same as it was, but it illustrates the idea. Now that's pretty cool, right? Because we're talking here about an example from, what was it? Can't even remember, 2019. So that is a long time ago, 4 years ago. So now let's return back to my more comfortable chart that I use now each and every single day. Oh, by the way, if you are looking, by the way, for a new exchange, if you, let's say, want to spread your eggs into multiple baskets, I highly recommend doing that, not keeping your money on one single exchange. My main exchange is BitGet. I'm gonna plug it in here. There we go. If you want to have 15% off fees, for a lifetime, by the way, this is not some kind of promotional action. I'm paying these 15% discount myself, so there you go, because I like the product, I use it quite a bit. If you click on this link and make an account there, do your KYC and trade simply on BitGet, then you will get 15% discount on your fees for a lifetime, right? So there's no end date whatsoever, 15% flat discount fee forever. Just wanted to mention that. Highly recommend that, by the way, because especially if you're day trading, fees can definitely add up a lot. All right, so now returning back to the analysis, right? So if we would look at this, something similar. I'm not going to be super precise here, can be bothered. I will, that is more for the day trading part anyway. But this is the idea, right? Upward sloping channel. It would make sense to have something along the lines of this before we would see further upside towards, first of all, at $40,000, and then second of all, $50,000. Now, almost done with the higher time frame analysis, and then we can come to a final conclusion, making a short summary, and then I'm more than happy to engage with you guys, because it's been such a long time that I've done a stream. Would be lovely to have some questions coming in, and just interact a little bit on this beautiful Sunday night, while at the same time we're fully prepared for literally what is going to come in the future. Quickly want to give you a slight sneak peek of my Elliott wave count that I have not continued just yet. I will be doing that in the community soon, where we'll be updating this. And this has been my Elliott wave count, which has been mind-blowingly profitable. If you are watching and in the tribe, you know again what I'm on about. Literally, this count gave me the high here at $30,000, gave me this entire correction, allowing me to trade this long, this short, I didn't trade it long here, to be honest with you all. I started longing here, but the count was correct. The count was very, very, very correct. And this count you know, I will be updating this next week in the tribe as a bonus video. It's now quite a popular thing. Every now and then I'm updating this count, which is literally useful for months and months and months ahead. And this suggests that we are in a bear market rally, right? In a bear market rally, like some sort of a correction towards that $50,000, and then we would see lower prices. If we would zoom out even further and just look at the entire chart, this is the amount of work that I put into analysis. So here's the proof that I'm not just saying random things here. This is my profession. This is what I do each and every day. I spend hours and hours and hours and hours reading the chart, and that obviously helps me to get a certain sense of intuition, and that definitely helps me to trade successfully, right? And I'm very passionate about it. As you can see, the amount of work that I put in here in this count alone is crazy. But anyway, if I put everything off here, bam, 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 then we have a really long-standing channel. And look at that. As you can see, I also make notes for myself. So we have been in a really, 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 really long-standing channel. This is on the logarithmic chart, by the way, so keep that in mind. And we have been grinding against that, against this upwards downtrend line of the channel. The lower trend line of the channel. My God, my English is not that great tonight. And that if this continues to be going on like this, then eventually, we will be having that $50,000 once again lining up with that channel. And I'm talking about here not a month-long channel. I'm not talking here about a week-long channel or a year-long channel. No, I'm talking here about a decade-old channel. A decade that predicted the rally in 2019, the bottom of the COVID drop, the top of the all-time high, the top region of the all-time high, and now again not exactly the bottom, but you get the point, right? You get the point. So high time frame, it is fairly accurate. Although for me personally, this is a bit too high of a time frame to be day trading off of, but it's definitely very helpful to be aware of. So with having that said, I'm looking for an A, B, C kind of correction. Well, not that high to be honest, but ABC kind of correction before we would go down. Now, reclaim that $50,000, then my bullish Elliott wave count takes over, where I am looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of situation, right? Because obviously, especially with Elliott wave counts, can be really subjective. And therefore you always need to have a bearish count and a bullish count. For this entire year, the bearish one, the one that I literally just gave you a sneak peek of, has just been really useful, very useful for me. So that is what I'm expecting on Bitcoin for some time to come. $40,000 next on the midterm time frame. $50,000 is going to be absolute key level, where I will be very interested in observing the price action, where I'm not necessarily expecting a reaction on one single day. Can take multiple days, even a week. So, it's not a level where you necessarily need to rush into new trades or coming into decisions. That's why I'm doing this video now and not when we arrive there. Obviously, I will do a video when we arrive there, but if you're watching it now, then you can already start making plans ahead of time if you're more of a bigger time frame trader. If you're a bigger time frame trader, then there's no need to look on the 1 minute chart to look at that price action. I personally do, but that is because I am a swing trader, I'm a day trader, and I'm a scalp trader all at the same time. So that is what I do. I eat charts for breakfast, essentially. But if you're not, then you can use that time to prepare for what might be ahead. Now, to the downside, we have $32,000 to $30,000. So the region between $32,000 and $30,000 is crucial support for this rally to maintain momentum to the upside. Should we not do so and fail to hold that $30,000 region, then it might just mean the end of this rally, and perhaps the B wave is then in and we might see lower prices. Until then, I have no question about it, or I have no reason to think why we could not go higher, albeit we could definitely see within this region, we could definitely see a bigger drop first before that further continuation. But this is where it starts to become more revolving around, like the swing trading to day trading, like on the lower time frames part, and that's a little bit out of the scope of this video, so I'm not going to cover this any more than it has to. However, be prepared for anything. So the thing is that if we go up from here, so let me rephrase that. Let me phrase that differently. What I want to say here is, in trading, you never know what's going to happen next. Price can go up, price can go down. Yes, I can read the charts pretty well. And yes, often I'm correct on the direction of the price movements. But do I know how and when exactly this is going to happen? No. I'm a human. I'm not, some people do say that I have a crystal ball, but I don't. But what I do have is I have discipline, and I have a methodology where I know when price looks strong and where I know where price looks weak. That is what I just explained is just an insight in the methodology. I teach this methodology every single day in the community that we have. Beautiful, active, small, but really hardcore community. Really nice. A lot of people coming in here, checking in every single day, helping each other out, trading alongside me. It's just really a blessing. It's just really a great time. Now that I mentioned that, actually, we have a Black Friday deal at the moment, which ends tomorrow evening. So if you want to grab that deal, then go to thrivelabs.io. I think you will see it in the chat in a second. You can grab your deal, and you can see for yourself what we're all about. I'm kind of proud of this, to be honest. So let me actually show you. This is our member dashboard. This is going to be a tool for you where we want you to use this each and every single day. The first real, repeatable feature that we have introduced now is like a calendar where you can see a countdown timer on different trading sessions that are opening. When there's like a holiday or a market event, we have like this calendar that shows up here. We're gonna expand upon this. So you can have this open next to you when you're trading, and if you want to know if there's some important data coming out, let's say we have, we last week we had, let's say, consumer sentiment coming out, 22nd of November, converted to your local time zone. If you don't know what this actually is and why it is important, you can simply click on it. And here there's a tooltip explaining you exactly what this is, what the time is, and in what session it is. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Here's like a whole bunch of videos, like quite a lot now. 3 times a week I do day trading updates over here, where I'm going to go over my day trading plans at the start of the trading day, and as the day is progressing within the Discord, I'm updating everybody how that is going. When am I taking a trade? What am I looking at? And as well as everybody else who's trying to trade the price action, I'm just there. I'm trading alongside you. If you have any questions, if you're like not confident in what you're supposed to be looking at, I'm there helping people out every single day, navigating their way through the day. It's really beautiful. And then on the side of it, if you want to have a little bit more of a hands-off approach, let's say you want to study first, then we also have an academy with a technical analysis crash course where I go more in depth into that methodology that I just explained, but more refined and more detailed, and also about the origins of this methodology. And this is like a compact crash course where you can learn everything so that you can follow along with what is being talked about in the Discord. In Q1 next year, by the way, there will be dedicated courses where I'll be literally from A to Z, my entire methodology will be coming out, like literally just everything, nothing holding back. I'm not going to hold back anything, just going to share everything that I know in this series of courses. And you know, that's going to come out next year. But for now, this is a great way to get started. Even if you've never looked at a chart before, then you can just get started here. This one is for free. And then if you're really getting into it, then there's a whole bunch of stuff like cheat sheets and you know, tutorials about order flow software. And this is expanding, you know, all the time, right? So this started with one video and now we have a whole bunch of stuff, right? So that is just ongoing. So yeah, take a look at that, and yeah, that is what I have to say on Bitcoin. Let me take a look at the chat and take a sip of my water, because my throat is indeed very dry. Let me know how you like this analysis, by the way. Really curious to learn if you like it. Speaking of likes, like, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Please, thank you. Let's see. What do we have in the chat? Let me see. No need to apologize. Was just letting you know for the future. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, I myself, even though I teach every single day, I'm always open to learn. And for example, like, as English is not my native language, I do prefer to, you know, learn how to pronounce things properly, right? Because I'm pretty sure that I have a pretty strong accent. Trying to get rid of it. But I should put more work into it. Doing my best. How is that bullish consolidation? Right, so that is a question. How is that bullish consolidation? I think that is actually a good question. I've already explained the majority of this. Of this. The reason why this is bullish is, yes, this is an upward sloping channel. Some people see this as bearish, but that is usually a drop is the result, right? Usually a drop is the result. The fact that we are maintaining the trend, keeping on higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher, etc., etc., etc. I'm looking here at facts, not what I want to happen or what I think is going to happen. The fact is, this at the moment is an uptrend. Period. There's no discussion about it. And therefore, this is classed as bullish consolidation as long as that trend is maintained. Now, over the years of my experience coming on to 6-7 years now, I've seen this many times where sometimes it does indeed play out like this. And therefore, this is not to be shorted. This is not to be shorted, or this is not to be shorted, in my opinion. There's really zero reason to short this. I mean, if you want to, go ahead. I'm not telling you what to do. I am definitely not shorting this. I'm more than happy to wait for a significant drop in price, not shorting this at all. But at least I would know that this now has ended, that this uptrend now has ended. Then the retracement that comes from there, that is where I can then make an informed decision, where I can identify a clear entry point, and much more importantly, a clear invalidation region for a good trade setup. Right now, shorting here is just not the smartest idea, I would say. Of course, we can drop from here. But I would rather just miss out on this entire drop so that I can buy back lower. That is what I would prefer in this scenario, in this particular scenario, right? As long as we do not lose any significant lows, I have absolutely no reason to expect significantly lower prices. And that is what I always do. I always say to the chart, show it to me, then I'll believe it, right? And by the way, I'm not talking about day trading. Of course, it is completely fine to, to short these highs over here, etc., based off of day trading strategies. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking here about swing trading and macro time frame analysis here. At the moment, on the big picture, we have reclaimed $30,000. We are above it, and as long as we are not below it, there's no reason to be bearish. That is my stance on Bitcoin. Now, of course, on a lower time frame, I'm trading it short and long. Even though I remain bullish, even if we do drop and we go up, even if we drop from here, I remain still bullish. But it doesn't mean that I'm not shorting. In day trading, I'm shorting, I'm longing, I'm then trading it on both sides every single day. So not to be confused with each other. So that is why this is bullish consolidation until it's not. That is the way how I look at it. So next up we have Adolfo. Hello, my friend. I've seen you here before. Welcome back. Nice to see you again. Adolfo Lopez. Hi, Mike. Do you think the halving narrative can trick people into getting into early longs who might have another leg to the downside on the high time frame? Very good question. History has shown us that the halving is usually a little bit of a non-event. I can't remember exactly when the past halving was. I think it was here. Not so sure. Not entirely sure, to be honest. But what usually has happened in the past is that we simply just consolidate, that we have a rally before. So, could be this. And then maybe next year is going to be completely sideways. Maybe next year is going to be something like this. Or maybe even worse. Maybe just something like a triangle. Who knows? Right? This is something I don't know, but, looking at the history of things, and to me, I'm not that interested in it. I mean, I will trade it either way, so I don't really care what price is doing. If it goes up or down, I'll be trading it anyway. But my feeling says that this is indeed like an anticipation with, the ETF approval thing and everything going on. And the halving is probably just going to be a little bit of a non-event, maybe a little bit of a retracement, maybe something like this. Still doesn't have to be ultra bearish per se, right? And then, return up from here. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I am talking here from a high-term time frame perspective, right? I'm not talking here on the day trading part. Of course, on the day trading side, if we would see a drop, to, let's say, sub $30,000, that's a huge, massive drop, obviously, right? But in the bigger picture, it doesn't have to mean much. That's more what I want to go, what I want to add here. Let me see. Thoughts on potential alt season? Yes, I have also covered Ethereum. I think also in a public video, I have definitely spent significant amount of time in the community over the last few months and weeks, actually. Ethereum is definitely at a very, 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 very interesting level for me. I'm not going to cover this in this video. Might do one in a future stream. Again, higher time frame idea, but I think if I cover it now, it's just going to take too long. I don't want to take too much of your time. So I respect your time. So I'm not going to make this into like a 3.5 hour stream, for example. Yeah, I don't see the point of that. So I will do that in a different video. But overall, I think Ethereum, in short, I think is at a very interesting place right now. And this could definitely, it's definitely at a region of interest. For me, I've waited for Ethereum to come down for multiple years, and it has come down to a level of my interest. And I have taken an interest in Ethereum. Now, at the moment, it has yet to materialize, to be fair. But if Ethereum continues to go up, in other words, reclaim that $2,200, I think it was from the top of my head, it definitely has some space to run up. And if Ethereum performs well, then it is very likely that altcoins will follow as well. So, yeah. that is the situation, I think. that that comment made me, Vivian, you made my day. I understand your English better than the Americans. I thank you for that compliment. I appreciate that. That means that I'm on the good track to learning English properly. What TPO tells you, again, TPO at the moment tells me nothing, because at the moment it is simply weekend. And that's more for day trading, and that's not, again, not really what this video is focusing about. If you want to know about that, I know, shameless shill, but tomorrow morning I will cover that in a day trading update in the tribe, but not now in this video. That's a good question from SW Mugandusi. What will invalidate your bearish Elliott wave count? Reclaim of $50,000. Breakthrough, backtest, and hold. That's invalidation. Technically, the invalidation is higher, but I think it's unwise to be bearish at all-time highs. And I'm talking from past experiences, not myself, but I've seen so many people trying to keep on shorting the highs. The same as that they do now, by the way. So many people try to short this. Maybe they might be right, after the 20th time of shorting, maybe they might be right. People shorting here, shorting here, shorting here, shorting here. Maybe this time they're right. But you also have to think, hey, if you see somebody on Twitter with a really epic short, how many times have they tried? And are they really profitable? I'd rather just wait things out. Every clock is right twice a day, I would say. So maybe people are just shorting this all the time, and as long as that continues, I think we're gonna go up, at least for now. Exactly now, after watching this video, exactly now where I would be changing my mind about that. But for now, that is what it is. All right, so Maxwell Kumalo is asking a good and important question. Maxwell is asking if I have a Telegram channel. I do not. If you see Mike Williams anywhere else than on Twitter or on the official website over here, right? Or under a different Discord name, which is called The Real Mike Williams 618, you are talking to a scammer. I will never contact you first. I will never ask you out of the blue how your trading is going, or if you need coaching whatsoever. Everything goes through the website. Everything there. If you make an account, everything will be taken care of there. If you are having a problem, then you can contact customer service. If you are being approached in any way, shape, or form other than the official channel over here, or on this YouTube channel, for example, you are talking to a scammer. I do not have Telegram, and also no Instagram. So be aware of that. Be aware of that. This is the only place where you can get legitimate, education from me. So no, I do not have a Telegram channel. And I happen to know that people are there pretending to be me. And on Twitter or on X, whatever it's called, the same. And on Discord, the same, right? So that is why I will never approach you first. All right. I see 2 more questions coming in. Are you using any indicator or none? I am an indicator-less trader. I am a fact-based trader. And by the way, if you're still watching, definitely you want to subscribe and you want to look out for a good and nice stream on, I think it's going to be Wednesday. I'm going to be inviting a true trader OG, and we're going to have a conversation live here on YouTube. That's going to be good. That is going to be really good. So just putting it out there. And that is going to be the beginning of a new chapter in Triflabs as well. Shit. I hope I didn't say too much yet, but it's going to be great. It's going to be great. So like, subscribe, because you do want to be there on Wednesday. There we go. You do want to be there. So are you using any indicator? The short answer is no. Every now and then I use an EMA or something like that. But I don't use like RSI or MACDs or any. I know everything. Give me a technical analysis tool and I can tell you everything about it. I've studied it all. I've used it all in the past. But right now I've brought down my methodology, which is the reason why I truly believe it makes it really accessible for everybody, because I've refined it in such a way that you can understand it very simple, and it's just really effective. It's really effective. So that is why I think it's far superior to any indicator out there. Easier to learn. You do need to put some time into learning it. It's not like, oh, this, like with most indicators, they tell you like, oh, you just follow and buy the green dot. No, that is, in practice, these kind of indicators usually are not profitable in the long term. But this methodology helps you get consistent results. And that is what we focus on here. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. You do need to invest a little bit of your time and some of your funds into, learning all this stuff. But in the end, I do truly believe that if you mastered that, it opens up completely new doors for you, life-changing stuff, because I've done it too. So and I don't have a PhD or whatever, I don't have that, I just stuck to my guns, studied really hard, worked really hard. I created this methodology, and that is why I know it works. That is why I know it works. Mike, are you in the US, in the Midwest? No, I am in Europe. I am not American. I'm not American. So I think there's really not that much more left to cover. So before I'm going to stumble with saying goodbye and stuff like that, I'm usually very bad in that. I'm just gonna do a really short summary. Midterm time frame analysis and high time frame analysis now done on Bitcoin here in this live stream, where I mentioned the levels. $40,000 to the upside, immediate resistance, reclaim that, $50,000 next. We've also gone over the context as to why these are important levels. The same goes for the downside, where I've marked out the $32,000 to $30,000 as support. Really important level to hold that. Lose the level, then, I'm definitely going to have to do another live stream, because that is, that changes the narrative quite a bit. Until then, I foresee higher prices. When, where, what, and how. We've also even covered that a little bit on how, how this puzzle piece plays into the bigger narrative, how good this could play out in multiple ways in the bigger narrative. And I think with that, you really are fully prepared for anything that happens. And, that is ultimately the goal for me of doing this stream. You need to be prepared. And in that way, you're not going to be surprised. You now have accurate levels where you can make a judgment from. You know when price is strong. You know when price is weak. So you don't have to run around like a chicken without head, like everybody else, closing out of your trade, rebuying in, messing up your position, being stressed, losing sleep. No, you now know exactly when price is strong, when it is weak, where, why, and how. And based off of that, you can now hopefully make an informed decision where you can plan ahead in time. And with that, I hope that I've been able to give you a little bit of confidence. And that is what I'm here for. So if you've enjoyed everything, I would say thank you very much for watching. If you're serious about learning how to trade, if you want to become more consistent, check out our Black Friday deals, give it a go. And I'm more than happy to welcome you very soon in the tribe, where we can talk much more in depth about the methodology that I use, and also, help you get more consistently profitable day in, day out. And with that, I'm going to close off the stream. Thank you very much for watching. And I'm very much looking forward to Wednesday. Mark it in your agenda. Gonna be a good one. Cheers, everybody. Bye.